Welcome to our brand new ham radio, amateur radio licensees. From your technician class to your extra class. I'm going to share a little bit of a story about my journey for a lot of you new folks, hoping that maybe I can plant a seed and you can trade places with me for a little bit. Since you're a new ham or relatively new ham, one of the things I want to share with you on this journey of amateur radio, I come back from the time, we're going to call it the dinosaur years, where you had to be able to send and receive 5 words per minute Morse code. Most of you would probably say, that's not for me, and would have never got into amateur radio because it's too hard. Nothing's too hard. It's just how you learn it. And yes, you got to have a want to desire to accomplish many things in life before you're going to even be able to achieve it. WB3 darn near broke. J. Glover, Silent Key. Andrews Air Force Base, 1977. I'm limping off in the mouth about CB radios, and he happened to be around me and said, "Hey, young man, have you ever thought about amateur radio?" I didn't know what the heck he was talking about, but it was radio, so I perked up. In the perking up, he explained a little bit more about it and talking around the world, and I really perked up in building equipment, and I getting more interested. So he said, "Why don't you come over to the house?" Didn't know me from Adam. "Why don't you come over to the house and I'll show you what we're talking about and see if it's something you like." So back then in the 70s, he took me in, had supper with him and his wife, and we talked about Morse code, and he let me listen to the noise, the dits and the das that didn't make no sense. But he understood them well because he too learned them. And he explained how I might have an opportune time to get away from the 11 meter, and he was not knocking 11 meters, so don't take it that way, folks. But he says amateur radio or ham radio is a different level in the level of communication skills. So he made the deal. I will teach you your receiving and your sending practices here. So 3 times a week for an hour at a time. I would drive over, and to me it was important, so I made it a specific to go get my lessons in learning the alphabet in Morse code, learning to know the sound of the A to da and the N dot it. And all of us have a different way of learning code, and there's several different organizations today that will teach you. So if you don't like code, you're going to be like me. I ain't ever going back to it after I got my license. Well, see, you don't have to do that no more. I earned my license as a novice because of 5 words per minute, send and receive. I got my general class license. I skipped the tech. I got my general class license because I had 13 words per minute. I got it up there, but how I got it up there was getting on the air and practicing. I didn't listen to recorded programs, things like that. I got on the air 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning with my HW101 that I built from a kit. I had some more learning skills in front of me on how to make the power supply work properly, the frequency counter work properly, the SWR bridge work properly, the transmitter work properly, the dummy load work properly. I had the opportunity, it sounded like a lot of work, it was, to build all those things and start my journey in amateur radio. And when I moved up and got my 13 words per minute code from 5 words per minute, I could talk around the world. But because of all the learning I had done at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, when I would sit in front of a radio and turn that knob, hunting for a signal, and by golly, there's one. There's a signal, and start sending my Morse code and get a reply back. Over a period of time, I got quite proficient at about 13 words per minute and had a ball with it. Now, for us in Parks on the Air, I don't find it fun just making a contact on Morse code. That's just me. That's not anything about being bad, so don't interpret that. But in my journey, when I became a licensed general and I could talk, then I did a lot more spending time spinning the dial. And now here's what I want to share with you. I've been licensed since 78 to 88, 98 to 2008 to 2018 to 2028 will be 50 years. So I got 48 years, and in the process, the sunspot cycle is getting ready to shift again. That'll be approximately 4 cycles where you have peaks in band propagation and lows in band propagation, where it will take you 150 watts to get across the street, all the way to 2 watts to get across the world, all because of propagation and the solar cycle. So for you new folks just getting in and you haven't been through a solar cycle, we're starting downward. That means that there's going to be a few years where there's not going to be a lot of activity. And those that are doing a lot of activity will probably have a KW running it hard. But that's normal. And for you folks that haven't seen that happen, it's going to happen if it already hasn't started. For us Parks on the Air folks, and I'm going to chime in on them, I'll share something that'll be in the back of your head. When you go out to an activation, and hunters pay attention, when you go out to an activation and the requirement is to make 10 complete contacts to have that park activated. That's just the guidelines. You can't change it to make it what you want. That's the guidelines. So you have to be pretty proficient in making that happen. A lot of times if you will start out and try to work your park to parks before you even start activating, go chase those. If you're in a park where you have internet service, go chase those that are already activated and see what happens. Remember, when band propagation is good, it doesn't take much power, and most any type of antenna will perform to a good degree. But when band propagation is bad or solar activity is down, then the struggle becomes just that. I've had days where I prayed for one more contact. Not to get my 12 or 13 to feel good, But to get that 10, yeah, it's hard to believe for those of you that know me that I've even struggled like that. And you new folks, if you're still listening to this old man, you're going to run into that. You're going to go out to an activation, and all of a sudden, the light switch broke. There's no repairing it. You can't call nobody. All of a sudden, your internet service that you had when you got to the park, which might have been marginal, is gone. So you do the last resort thing. It's called start spinning the dial slowly, looking and listening for other folks, listening for a net to check in, to make a contact and ask, hey, is there anybody else that would like to contact me? I need 4 more contacts for where I'm at. I would greatly appreciate it. Did you hear me ask? If you don't ask for things in life, don't expect them. Same thing when you get into a situation as an activator where you're trying to get that park activated. You sometimes have to ask people to meet you there. So I wanted to share that. New folks, again, you haven't experienced it. You're going to wake up one day and say, what happened? What's going on? Is my antenna broke? Have I ever gone out and checked to see if my antenna is not connected? Yeah. Have I gone outside when it's raining to see if my antenna is still there? Yeah. Have I looked at my antenna on the roof of my car to see if I didn't knock it off somewhere? Yeah. You will too. Some of you are shaking your head. No, that'll never happen to me. Don't ever say never, because it'll bite you. My journey in amateur radio went all the way up to about 1994. Before I got into POTA, I took a 10-year break. I got tired of this, we'll call it sad ham organizations, that if you didn't pay all these funny prices and go to all these fancy places and sit and have fancy meals, and I'm an alcoholic, so a drink, well, I wasn't part of the club because I didn't perform that way. So I told him, have a good day. I put my stuff away for 10 years. 10 years it sat in a storage unit. And there's many hams over the years that I have met that have gone through some similar events in their lives. And Parks on the Air, since you're associated with Parks on the Air, if you are, is a fantastic organization. They don't ask for any money for me to join. All the awards that they present for me in the awards section are free for downloading. They treat me with dignity and respect, the people that I'm making contacts with. I don't feel like a contester. And again, don't slam me because I said something against contesters. I'm not. That's just not my cup of tea. I like to chat. I like to have contacts, yes, but I don't want somebody to feel I'm making them a slot on a belt. All of us are different in what we chase. If we chase digital, I'm not a digital person. Yes, I'm a CW person. And yes, I do very little CW. After I reach a goal of 1,000 activations, I really have a lot to think about because of health concerns. Will I go to doing some CW and stop chasing stupid goals that I set in front of me? Probably. But whatever I do, I want you not to do. I want you, if you have listened so far down to this part of the video, I want you to be you. I don't want you to be like me. I don't want you to take the challenges that I took from me, myself, and I. I want you to take the challenges that you create for you on how you're going to do it, how you're going to activate, Okay, some folks, and let's talk on a touchy subject. Some people don't like working people in two parks at one time. That's okay, don't work me. I work twopers and threepers, but I know my parks are legitimate. They're not made up. And I know that when I tell you that I am there, the photos that I take are time stamped that I'm there. And you will have some operators that cheat the system. They say they were, they're not. But I'm not going to call them out. They know who they are. The thing is be yourself in amateur radio. You have different facets. I used to chase James religiously all the time. Now I can't because I don't do satellites. And most of the CW operators are running 25 to 35 words per minute. So for me and my slow abilities, it takes a couple times of not getting in and listening to all the big guns come plowing through to take the interest away. So that's why I don't do a lot of CW unless it's somebody I know and I'm looking forward to working them, because I don't take challenges very well when it comes to not hearing good. You young folks don't know that yet. You will in time. But until that time comes, look and listen to all the mentors that you have available, literally on the air with Parks on the Air. There is a multitude of experience from Hawaii to Australia to Canada to Korea to Philippines, Japan, and it's endless because this hobby is not dead. It's growing. Parks on the Air has a little bit to do with it. But when the band conditions go down, it's not you failing. It's conditions that we have presented before us that we have to deal with. Thank you for taking time to listen to the little journey with the old man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you, Jay Glover, Silent Key, may you rest in peace. For the day I mouthed off about 11 meters, and you said, hey, let's talk about ham radio. And he took me aside. I hope some of you guys and gals will take a moment and become a mentor for somebody else like me so that I could enjoy the hobby of amateur radio. May God bless one and all. Until our next On the Air event, 73s from November, Charlie 4 X-Ray Lima, North Carolina for extreme lovers. Oh, I'm not. Just Dom, the darling old man. 73s.